Hello, 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 everybody. This is Irina Strunina, and this is our weekly podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. This is the podcast that goes live into our Facebook group, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I am inviting to be my guests healthcare providers, healthcare professionals, people who work with people who have diabetes or pre-diabetes, and they are helping them to get better understanding of what their diagnosis means, to get better knowledge about the ways to manage to control it, to become in charge of your diagnosis and live the life that you want, not the life that dictated to you by the medications and different things like that. And every last Thursday of the month, I have a special edition to our podcast. It's called Warriors Edition. This is when I am inviting to be my guests people who live with diabetes and maybe some other immune suppressed diseases, but primarily my guests have diabetes or had diabetes. So today, my guest is Luisa, that we got introduced by our mutual friend, and I'm so glad that this connection happened. So today, I will be talking with Luisa about her journey. Welcome to the show, Luisa. Please introduce yourself and let us know how are you doing and
Yeah.
what is going on.
So Luisa Morrone. I live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Two children and a husband, and a mother who lives with me. So I'm what you would say a person who has reversed and or sent diabetes into remission.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a debate about whether you've reversed it or whether you've actually gotten rid of it. I say I got rid of it. I've sent it into remission, and I'm better for it. I used to weigh 320 pounds, over actually. I did actually go over 320 pounds. I walked with a cane.
Mm-hmm.
I had arthritic hip. The problem is that when you're overweight or categorized as obese, you don't qualify for the surgery
Yes.
because you won't recover, right?
Yes.
You're too heavy. You've got to get up as soon as you have that operation where they replace the hip.
Yes.
So they delayed it. As well, I was too young. They want you to be a little bit older for these surgeries because you're going to get them done again in 20 years.
Yes.
But I couldn't delay it. My doctor kept asking me to please lose the weight, and everything was futile. No matter what I tried, all I did was actually go the opposite way and gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also, not only did I have the arthritic hip issue, I had diabetes in my family. I was married to a diabetic, and I got diabetes. So I can go a little bit deeper if you want me to about my family history, if you like. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. This is a good place to start because in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, we have different people. Some of them been diagnosed for a while, and now they decided that this is time when they want to take this under their control and manage their health status instead of just follow
Mhm.
the doctor's directions and just add more medication to their menu. And we have newly diagnosed people who went for their annual exam and then suddenly they learn that they have been
Mhm.
diagnosed with pre-diabetes or with diabetes, depends on the level of their whatever their blood work showed. And we also have people who, like yourself, are caregivers for others, and they learn that their spouse, some family member got diagnosed and they want to educate themselves, and that's why they're coming to our Facebook group. So we have different people who are looking for information, for help, for inspiration, for motivation. This all that we are providing in the group because we have so many people there. And
Yep.
obviously, if I have a problem that I am concerned about,
Yeah.
There should be somewhere the second person with a similar problem, not exactly mine, but
Yeah.
similar, and I can learn from what their discoveries are. And this is why I have this edition, Warriors Edition here, so people could share their experiences. And who knows, from our listeners, there may be people who actually have the similar story like yours, and they may learn something from you, may get motivated by your results because you, obviously you said how many pounds did you lose?
150 pounds since then, but
Amazing. This is absolutely amazing, and it's possible. You
it
got to
is.
tell us was it
Well,
hard or was it easy?
you know what? It was, how do I say this? It is the easiest thing to do, but yet the hardest thing to do. It
Okay.
is hard, but it's also easy in many respects, and I'll tell you why. There are certain foods that do impact your blood sugars. We
Yes.
have to acknowledge this.
Yes.
They are all the foods that most cultures in the world are very attached to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy in that we know which foods can make that blood sugar rise,
Yes.
but it's hard to give them up,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's easy. I have a list that I know will trigger the rise of my blood sugar if I'm going to eat these foods. So I
Mm-hmm.
avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the foods I grew up with,
Yes.
right? So this is the struggle. It's easy because we know what impacts blood sugar, but it's so hard. So if I go back to when my first exposure to diabetes was with my father, my late father, who, by
Mm-hmm.
the way, passed away from complications from this terrible, insidious, silent killer of a disease.
Yes.
You and I both know it's a silent killer.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have symptoms. Maybe a little bit of I'm tired, you may have blurry vision every so often, and you might actually have to go to the bathroom a little more than usual, or you're thirsty. But these are
Yes.
not groundbreaking, like, oh, I'm in so much pain, I got to go see the doctor, right?
Yes.
This is the problem. My dad, for example, he started drinking more and more, but he was more thirsty than usual, and he was going to the bathroom more often.
Of course.
But
He's
you know,
drinking.
yeah. So it was like, oh, okay, whatever. But there wasn't this, oh, I'm in so much pain. I've got to go to the doctor. So for my dad, he actually was going to be in a coma soon.
Mm-hmm.
His numbers were 23, 25, which is about 378 or even more. I know
Mm-hmm.
that there are different
Yes.
measurements.
In US it's a little
Yeah,
different numbers.
yeah.
So yeah.
So he was very sick, but nobody knew. And he himself didn't feel that unusual.
Did he? I'm sorry for interrupting. Did he actually have the blood sugar monitor, or he was in a
No, he didn't even
baseline?
know he was diabetic. Nothing.
Wow.
So he went to the doctor, and now we know now that the only way to find out if you're a diabetic or pre-diabetic is a blood lab report. You
Yes.
go, they test your blood, they take your urine, you go see your doctor, and then all of a sudden your doctor is sitting in front of you, as she did with me, telling you, you're pre-diabetic. And it's like, huh? Really? Oh, um, I didn't even realize, right? Again, because really there are no symptoms. Yes, I was overweight. Who knew that I was diabetic? Nobody. So
Mm.
same with my father. He didn't know until he went in. It was his annual checkup, and the doctor said, and he went into the hospital that year. The year that he became a diabetic, I think my father was being warned he was pre-diabetic, but he was doing nothing about it. So
Ignoring the warning. Okay. Yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
don't feel like it. I don't feel anything different. So what the matter?
I feel great, doc. There's nothing wrong with me. Denial, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a disease. What are you talking about? Right? Because we don't do anything unless there's a real dire, like, oh my God, right?
Yes.
So my dad, actually, I do remember, my dad showed me slips of paper, requisitions from his doctor with notes of pre-diabetes suspected, go get your blood work, which my dad never did.
Mm-hmm.
You see? What for? I'm fine. So my dad ended up becoming diabetic and straight to insulin, not even any pill format, right? And by end of life, and my dad struggled with, and he was not, by the way, the fallacy or the mistruth that you have to, only obese people get diabetes, incorrect.
Yes.
My dad never was overweight.
Mm-hmm.
He was a slim man. And so with him over the years, he struggled with his favorite foods, pasta and bread. We're of Italian background. And he would always say, I know better. I know what I'm doing. Daddy, you just ate an enormous plate of pasta. You think that's a good idea? The doctor said you should portion it. I know what I'm doing. And he would go and take an extra pill, thinking the extra pill
Mm-hmm.
is going to help, which it doesn't, right?
Yes.
At the end, my dad passed away from on kidney dialysis. My dad ended up, and most diabetics will know this, and those that don't know it yet, I'm going to warn you, you start with maybe 2 pills. Over time, it becomes four.
If you
Four
don't do anything.
if you don't do anything,
Yes.
correct. Yeah, if you just do, just continue to eat the way you want and lead the lifestyle and ignore your diagnosis because you're not feeling anything, your 2 pills become four, four becomes six become eight. My dad, at the end of life, was at about 18 pills a day for various things. And most diabetics also end up with high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and fatty liver, right?
And cardio.
And cardio issues, correct. And my dad suffered from all of those. I also had a father-in-law who was a
Mm-hmm.
diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
Same trajectory, 2, 4, 6, 8, at the end, 20 pills, right? And I was married to a diabetic. I was surrounded. But for some reason, and you'll know this and some of your listeners will, I had a blinders on. I was in
Yes.
denial.
Yes.
When my doctor warned me for 8 years, Luisa, you're becoming pre-diabetic. Please watch yourself. It's not going to happen to me. It's like when you hear about a car accident. Oh, poor people. That's not going to happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone lost their parent or their husband or their sibling. Oh, I feel bad. That's never going to happen to me. We're in a denial phase. And that's where I sat. I happily ate. I continued to lose weight. There were no symptoms. So there's nothing wrong with me, right? My dad was in denial. My father, both men would sit there eating all these highly carb foods. I know what I'm doing. Let's go for a walk, Caesar. Yeah, the
Uh,
walk will help, right? Which
uh-huh.
it does. It does a little
A
bit,
little bit.
a little bit. But then they would come back and have Italian desserts, cannoli, and all kinds of fruit and cakes, So but, they knew what they were doing. So there's stubbornness. So there's denial, stubbornness, thinking you're infallible.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that it's not going to happen to me. There's so many things that go through a person's mind, right?
What about you?
I went through all of them. Every
Mm-hmm.
year I would hobble in with my cane and I the walk of shame because I had to get on the scale and I had promised my doctor the year before that I would lose all she said was 20 pounds.
Uh-huh.
She would send me to the dietitian. She would even write, she's such a great doctor. She would write down for me everything that I should avoid and, cut the fat, watch your portions, blah, blah, blah. And every year I would walk in and she would weigh me and I would have my head down because I knew I knew what the scale was showing. And she would say, Louisa, instead of having the scale go the other way and lose 20 pounds, you managed to gain 30. What are you doing? I don't know. I did everything you guys told me to. Lie. We also lie.
Yes.
We lie, right? And
Yes.
she knew I was lying because I would say, I tried to follow everything the dietitian told me to do. I don't know why I gained 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be like, okay. And she would take out the pad and, review. Okay, let's review. Okay, cut out the fat, watch your quantity, da da da. Let's reset. I'm going to make another appointment for you. This time I've got a dietitian, a diabetic one. She's going to help you. And this was replayed over and over again, over,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would go home and maybe be inspired for maybe a few weeks. Here's the other thing. For those that need to lose weight, because not everybody does,
Yes.
we're in a hurry to get to where we're going.
Yes.
So I had to lose 100 and, oh, at least she wanted me to lose 100 pounds to get the surgery, right? That's a lot. So when I only lost 10 pounds, which is a great success,
Mm-hmm.
I would think, oh, it's only 10 pounds. What's that compared to 100? And I would give up. Do you know
Mm.
what it takes to take
Ah,
that,
okay.
right? Because the mind set is it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not fast enough, right? That's why many people fail because they're expecting to lose 25 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
And when they quote only lose 10, then it's like, I have so much more to go. And I always think, then I started telling myself, well, listen, it took more than a week to put the weight on. Why are you expecting miracles, right?
Yes,
It took a long time to put that weight on. It's
exactly.
not going to come off in one day. But our mind always tricks us to go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
One
Yes.
little step forward, and the mind wants to drag us back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also started to remove the word only. I would weigh myself and look down and say, instead of saying I only lost 1 pound, I would put my hands up in the air and say, I lost a pound.
It's a
That meant that I,
mindset.
right?
You started changing something
Yes.
in the way how you look at things before anything
Yeah.
else happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
I removed the word only. I would say, I lost a pound. And sometimes if I lost zero, I would say, I lost nothing. And that's still a win because I didn't gain.
Exactly.
So, but the mind always says, oh, pff, there's this, it's like a good and a bad angel sitting on your shoulder, right? Oh, so you didn't lose any weight. So reward yourself. Go and do this, go eat this. So there's so many times that you have to realize the survival mechanism kicks in by dragging you backwards when it sees that you're trying. Change is the hardest thing for a human
Change
to
is
do.
the hardest thing. Absolutely.
We would rather go back to the way we ate than to move forward into a different lifestyle, right?
Yes.
This is the hardest thing. Even my father, my father-in-law, and my own husband. To also speak a little bit about my husband's diagnosis. I was pregnant, and my husband became a diabetic during my first child when I was pregnant with my first child, and he didn't even want to take the medications at first because he goes, I don't feel there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need these pills.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh man. And his blood sugars were 18, 19. So they were in the high 200s, right?
Yes.
And he was refusing to prick. So if I don't see it, it's not happening, right? If I don't prick my finger and I don't see the number, I'm not diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is such a serious disease, though, isn't it?
It's absolutely. It's a serious, tricky, and persistent. If you stop working for your body,
Mhm.
you did, diabetes didn't. The diagnosis keeps doing its
Yeah.
destroying job, and this is something that we need to remember.
Well, you know what it is? It's by the time you realize, oh my God, this is a horrible disease, you're probably in, stage 3C of like kidney disease. You're probably being told by your doctor to smarten up or you're going to end up on a dialysis machine. And but it's near the end where you realize, oh my goodness, I should have,
Yes,
right?
I've heard so many
And
of these stories.
yeah,
Yes.
and listen, it's a horrible disease, and I'm going to talk about some of the terrible things it does. You can lose your leg. They will amputation of limbs. Kidney disease. It was horrible sitting next to my daddy and my father-in-law. They both had to go through it with, connected to a machine 3 times a week. You have to go into the hospital. So every other day, you're in a hospital for 6 hours
Yes.
while a machine is doing the work of your kidney, right?
Yes.
What a life. I
Yes.
wish we had known that earlier. Both my fathers went through that. We had a scare with my husband's kidney that it started to fall rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to, finally, he got the message, right? Finally, because I reminded him, do you remember your father? Do you remember seeing my father? So, but again, it's near the end. So there's kidney function. There's the eye,
Eyes.
vision loss,
Yes.
vision loss,
The
right?
cardio, the heart.
And it affects, yes, it affects your heart. There's cardio. My husband has had a quadruple bypass. So here's the thing with my husband. Again, the denial, the I'm fine. He started seeing my success as I started to lose weight. So I did lose in the first year
Mm-hmm.
about 50 pounds, 40, 50 pounds, which qualified me to get that hip surgery. I
Mm-hmm.
did get it. I was still too heavy, but I was recovering. Like it's because every pound of weight that you carry on your frame, it's 3 times the pressure on your joints. So
Yes.
I was 325 pounds. That is, if I had gone in and got the surgery when I was at my most obese, that would have been under almost 1,000 pounds of pressure on that joint, right? So the less you weigh, the less pressure. So the thing is that my husband had watched me with my success, and everybody in the family and his friends would say, Vince, look at your wife. She's looking good, and I was no longer taking metformin. They
Mm-hmm.
said, what about you? And there he is, happily eating a big slice of coconut cream pie, saying, I'm good. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. The only reason my husband finally had to do it is because he had a quadruple bypass. And the morning of the surgery, as me and the 2 kids gathered around him with my mom, the kids said to him, when you come out of this, you're going to come out of this alive. There's no excuse now. You are going to sit with mom and you're going to listen to her and you're going to do what she's done. So my husband has lost 80 pounds. He has now gone
Congratulations.
from 18 pills to 5.
Yes.
His blood sugars have come down drastically and his kidney function, thank God, has gone up.
Improved.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what
Yeah.
about you right now? Where your diabetes is and what you are doing? The sad
Yeah.
part is that we are close to the end of our, uh,
Oh my goodness.
podcast. So I want to hear your story
Yes.
too.
Yes. Okay. So basically, got the hip for surgery, threw away the cane. I've lost 150 pounds. I got off metformin within the first 6 months. I am on absolutely no medication. I have been diabetes free for the last 9 years now.
Wow, congratulations.
I
Yes.
love my life. My blood sugars, no matter when I prick my finger, are always between 4 and 6, so under 100 108, I think, in the US. I'm living an amazing life. I get to wear fashionable clothes now. I was a sad, sad woman. When I would go to events or weddings, I would just pray that a dress would just fit me. It would usually be a black thing, a tent dress that would cover my whole body, and I could not have the pleasure of looking beautiful and being able to, have my husband twirl me on the dance floor. I was too embarrassed. And this is the other thing. People cut themselves off from living a truly enriched life, right?
Enjoying the fun that is available if when you are. Oh,
Yeah. So I dance. I'm not embarrassed to go swimming now. I would always, if we went to a pool party, I never went in the pool. That would entail having to put on a bathing suit. That would entail having to show everybody what I looked like,
mm-hmm.
right? So I'm living the life that I only dreamt of. And I know that some of your listeners are saying, oh, I wish, I wish I could do that. I wish I could, lose 150 pounds. It sounds overwhelming, but let me put this to it. Let me put a very easy way of mindset. The first 7 years, I lost 140 pounds. If you divide that, that means that I lost 20 pounds a year because 20 times 7 years is 140
Mm-hmm.
pounds.
Mm-hmm.
20 pounds a year is doable.
Yes.
If you divide that by the number of months, I only lost, let me remove the word only. I lost 1.5 pounds a month.
Mm-hmm.
That is half a pound a week.
Yes.
Cumulatively, and everybody will say, oh, half a pound, woohoo, what's that? It's water weight. Look what I did. The average was half a pound a week.
And
And I lost.
during that process, you already created the habit of thinking before you
Yes.
put something in your mouth or before you put something on your plate. So it's a very different approach now to eating, to a rewarding system. So I guess when you think that you deserve a treat, it's probably not the cream pie, right?
Oh, I eat cake. I eat in abundance. I do not deny myself.
Okay.
My plate is full and I eat sweets, but I make them myself
Uh-huh.
and they're diabetic sweets. And no one can tell. I had a dinner party last year. I went to a shower. I brought two desserts that were very low in carbs. Everybody asked the bride, "Can you get me the recipe for those two desserts?" It was a blueberry lemon cheesecake and a raspberry crumble.
I would love to have that.
Oh, I will, and that actually as a gift. If anybody's listening and wants to get in touch with me, I will actually give those two recipes. Typically, a slice of cheesecake will give you 58 grams of sugar. My version, the slice has 3 to 4 grams of sugar.
Nice.
You see the
Perfect.
difference?
Yes.
58 or 3 to 4. That's
Yes.
why my blood sugars are constantly where they should be.
Perfect. Luisa, this is amazing. The story you're telling, actually, I think shows that everything is possible once you have something to work for. Like
Yeah.
you had your hip surgery in
Yeah.
front of you and you couldn't walk, you had young children and you wanted to be part of their life, so you
Mhm.
had to do something about that. Your husband had this heart surgery, which is so scary, and he had that. Um, I think this makes also shows that it is possible. It is possible. The most
Yes.
important thing to start thinking this way.
Yes.
uh, Not
But
only
I don't want the people listening to wait for these terrible events, you see.
exactly,
I,
exactly.
my husband wouldn't have had the quadruple bypass surgery and he had a leg surgery too because he had lots of issues because of his diabetes. It's
Mm-hmm.
all related to his diabetes. Don't, if there's a message I give to the listener, don't wait until a catastrophic event. I
Absolutely.
had the time to not get that arthritic hip had I not weighed what I did. I
Mm-hmm.
could have avoided it, right? My husband could have avoided the two surgeries he had. So I would like to tell the listeners, don't wait,
Let me
right?
write it down. Don't wait.
Don't wait. We all oh, there's the other one. We spoke about a number of things, procrastination. My father used to say to me, if I had $1 for every time you said, I'll start my diet on Monday, he goes, I would be a millionaire.
Uh-huh.
I'll start when? That's called perfectionism. You're waiting for the right environment. Everything has to be perfect for you to start.
Which is
No,
not going to happen.
no. And I was like that. No, I didn't go shopping on Sunday, so I can't start on Monday. Right?
Uh-huh.
I don't have the right foods in my fridge, so I can't start. Baloney. It's baloney. This is your perfectionism.
So, Lisa, you started telling about it, and then we got again take
Yeah.
tracked away. So, how people can contact you if they want to get the recipe, if they want to hear details about your story, or if they want to have some further and deeper communication with you? What is the
Absolutely.
website, or what? How they can reach you out?
Yes. Well, first of all, I have a very large presence on social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, heavily on Facebook. All they have to do is look up my name, Luisa Morrone, Luisa Morrone, and you can locate me. I do have a website. It's my name, LuisaMorrone.com. But I am easily accessible. All you have to do actually is Google Luisa Morrone. I should come up most likely on Facebook or Instagram. My phone number, if anybody would like to, I'm on WhatsApp all the time, is 905-399-4891. And I will send you those two recipes. And you can,
Amazing. You are a brave person. I never expect people to give their, phone numbers because
oh,
this is a crazy world, and I know how my phone is constantly ringing.
oh, I know. Yeah, but only through WhatsApp. I don't have a long distance plan.
Okay.
So
All
if
right.
they want to reach
What's
me, it's
up?
WhatsApp.
Anybody wants to take her on her phone number? Remember, you got to contact her through the
But I'm
WhatsApp.
very
Say
active
that
on,
you've heard her talking on this our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360,
yeah.
and she will know exactly where you learned about the
Yes.
recipe.
Yes.
All
Well,
right. Before we say goodbyes, let me remind everyone a couple pieces of information that where are my backgrounds that I wanted to people who maybe just joined our Facebook group Diabetes 101 for Beginners, or maybe you been around but were not paying attention to what admins are saying. So pay attention to admins' posts. We have some information to share. So on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, we have this Telenurse Tuesday event where our registered nurse will go online, and from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, they will be answering your questions. They will not go live in person. It's not the video. All you need to do is type in your question under this banner, Telenurse Tuesday, and when they log in, they see these questions and they will be typing in the answers. So every other Wednesday in our Facebook group where we have the support group meeting, this one is off the Facebook. This one is on Zoom, and we meet with our group members and some healthcare professionals. And this is your chance to share your story, to get the accountability partner if you wish, to be, to support others, and sometimes just sit there quietly and listen what others are sharing. We, as I said, our professionals, healthcare professionals, they usually are always open to help to find the solution and support you on whatever goal you have in front of you. Of course, every Thursday we have our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. And one more thing that I wanted to remind everyone that once a month, closer to the end of the month, on last Saturday of the month, we have our this we call it crash course, Diabetes 101 for caregivers, where registered dietitian Kim Kyle and myself, we are talking about essential information about diabetes that every doctor thinks that we know,
Mm.
but very often we don't. And as caregivers who don't go to doctor's appointments, who don't hear what the blood work results are, what the recommendations are, uh, you don't know what the directions doctor gave to your loved one. They may share it with you, and it's fortunate if they remember everything, but very often they don't remember everything, or sometimes they choose don't remember. So this is something that I invite everybody to go and listen to. We have recordings of this podcast available on our YouTube channel, Smart Move 360. So you always can go ahead and listen to our already events that happened in the past. We started it in 2025, and our commitment is to keep it going at least for a year. So you will have a chance to see all these conversations, all the presentations. Kim is wonderful, and she is doing a great job explaining everything in the language that people without medical degree can understand, which is sometimes a challenge when you work with a professional. Somehow, when you're constantly looking at the medical records, you forget that not everybody is doing the same thing. With that, I would like to thank you, Luisa, one more time for joining me today for this Warrior edition. Anybody who thinks that you have an interesting story to share, contact with me. We will bring you up and we'll interview you so other people could learn from your experience. just a little teaser, we will meet with Luisa again because in addition to being a successful warrior and caregiver, she is now turned her experience into the work that she is doing, that she's so passionate about. And she is helping people to get their diagnosis into remission, under control, however you want to call it, to lose weight if you this is your goal. And Luisa is coming back.
Oh,
And just follow our announcements, and you will have a chance to hear from her about her work now. Okay?
oh, lovely. That'd be great. Thank you so much. This was absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Luisa. Thank you, everyone. Share with people if you find it useful and interesting. And I will talk with you next week. Have a
Yeah.
great day.
Bye bye, everybody.